So this evening we're working on, we'll start with some initial stretches, we'll take it very gently, and then I'd quite like to revise some chair work, which might be good because one of our participants on Zoom hurt her foot. So that's what we're heading towards, but starting off as usual, lying down, comfortably lying down, making sure that you have padding beneath you, and if possible, a nice blanket over you in case you get cold. And remembering that this time, this yoga time that we have, is this delightful, delicious, rejuvenating time for ourselves, because there's so much going on in our lives. And if other people are difficult, sometimes we're being difficult to ourselves. So it's really nice to just stop and pause and think, you know what? I'm going to give myself some really nice time. So let's observe the breathing, just beginning to quieten down. Nothing much to do. Lying here comfortably in the corpse pose. And first of all, let's see how the mind is doing. And whatever's going on in there with the mind, remember to be oh so kind and kind of forgiving to our minds. A lot of what our minds do come from how we were brought up and what people said to us as we were growing up. So kind of in a way, it's not our fault. And all we do is we spot when it's happening and be as kind as we can to ourselves. And eventually over time, retraining. One of my favourite poems is about the fact that we already are enough. We don't have to walk through the desert on our knees repenting. We don't have to go into long retreats and keep silent, and we don't have to do lots of things to make ourselves better. In a way, we need to allow ourselves to blossom because we already are enough. And this poem itself questions the fact that we constantly think we have to improve and improve and improve. And one of the images that comes to mind is when a baby is born. You don't look at the baby and think, right, well, you're not clever enough, or you've not got the right colour eyes, or you've not got enough hair, or this is just a baby, beautiful in itself. And that sense of love and acceptance, unconditional love, is something that in yoga, it's really helpful to practice towards ourselves. How would it be to live as though, as you are in this moment, is not only okay, but is totally enough? And then observing how the emotions are in this moment, with great kindness towards ourselves. How are we feeling emotionally? And then observing the body. How is your body in this moment? And if there's any area of the body that isn't doing so well at the moment, sometimes it's helpful to see it as a gift to enable us to practice more kindness towards ourselves, an opportunity. And then observing the breathing, the body being breathed. Notice the movement of the body as you breathe. Maybe it's helpful to be aware of the miracle of breathing. Constantly breathing in, breathing out. And we're not even aware most of the time that we're doing so. And then let's be aware of all those levels at the same moment. So being aware of the breathing, the body, the emotions, the mind. Being here, lying on this yoga mat. And no matter what is happening, what is going on within you at any level, moving towards practicing great kindness and acceptance, tenderness, towards how we are exactly as we are in this moment. And you may feel that the body feels so heavy that it's hard to move. idea of moving into our yoga practice feels a little bit too effortful. But we'll only start to move slowly. So first of all, let's wriggle the fingers and the toes a little. And then rotate the wrists and the ankles a little. And then if you have a blanket over you, maybe just move it slightly so you've got room to breathe in and take the arms above the head and behind you, back to the hands on the floor. And stretch the fingers and bring the toes towards you. And just feel how the body's responding to that. Push maybe the right heel away. Stretch the right fingers. Push the left heel away and stretch the left fingers. Okay, and then both together, but this time point the toes, stretch both sides. And then breathing in, bring the hands to pointing towards the ceiling, fingers pointing towards the ceiling. And lift them out of the shoulder socket. And relax the legs completely as you do this. And just allow the arms to drain downwards towards the torso. And then we're going to raise the right knee, bend the right knee towards the face and bring the hands down and clasp that right knee. And let's do some ankle rotations. Bring the chin in towards the chest as you do that. Got that lovely feeling of working and lubricating that ankle joint. Okay, and then pressing and pulling that thigh closer into the torso. More pressure against the ascending colon there, on that right side. Okay, then release that leg and bring the left knee up. And again, pulling in, rotating the left ankle. Remember to rotate both ways. And then pull that knee in even stronger. So you're stretching the glute, that left glute, left buttock muscle, and pressure onto the descending colon on that left side. And then we'll bring both knees up and pull in. Relax the shoulders and the face. Okay, lovely. And then I'd like you to straighten out the legs upwards towards the ceiling and pull the toes, if you can, down towards the face. You can hold on behind the thighs, or you can clasp the hands behind the thighs. And don't worry about making the knees really straight. At the moment, we're just easing the legs. And if you want to, you can reach towards the toes. Bend the knees a little, see if you can reach the toes. But at this stage, I'd seriously recommend not doing anything too overstretchy. Okay, we're just easing into it. Okay, and then if you're holding onto the toes, take the hands again to the backs of the thighs, and let's just open out wide, so in wide scissors. And if you wish, you can do some more ankle rotations. So to do wide scissors, one of the things people often get wrong with this is that they tense the shoulders and the upper arms. So just imagine you're relaxing those completely. Your hands are doing the work. And also, also imagining that you're opening out and the inner thighs are moving further and further away from each other. And then rock a little from side to side on the pelvis, if you've got room without banging into something. A nice little bit of rocking from side to side. That's lovely. Doesn't that feel good? It's good for the lower back, it's good for sacroiliac joints, the pelvis, good for the hip joints. And what I like about so many yoga poses is these are not sort of strenuous really to do. And they're actually really rather lovely and they feel so nice. And at the same time, we're benefiting ourselves. It's kind of win-win. Okay, and then bringing the legs back to straight up and pull them slightly closer towards the face, bringing the chin to the chest. Good, and then reach through the legs to the instep, placing the palm of the hand on each instep and bending the knees down to the armpits, going into what I call the stuffed turkey. And again, seeing if you can relax the shoulders, the face, any area that is unnecessarily tensed as you're in the pose. And this is doing wonderful work where the ascending colon starts on your right side and where the descending colon starts to join into the bowel. And there's pressure in there, massage. And then, because it only seems fair, if we've done this work, I'd like to do the smaller test. And so bend the knees again, and close to the chest, and then make the big circles with the knees. So we get some massage work onto those long wriggly loops of small intestine in the middle of the belly. And then circles the other way. Okay, and then pull in again, pressure on the abdominal area, point the toes away from you, relax the shoulders. And then cross the right ankle over the left ankle. So if you can reach through to holding the big toes. This rocking and rolling to come up is too difficult. Simply bend the knees, roll over onto one side and push with your arms to come up. But I'm coming up by rocking and rolling along my mat. Certain amount of internal belly massage until I'm eventually sitting up. Okay. So if you had a rubber blanket around, this is where you kind of tidy it up. And sitting however you feel comfortable. If you wanted to at this stage, you could sit on a block. You could sit with your legs straight out in front of you. You could sit in easy cross-legged or kneeling. whatever's comfortable. And usually we're just using this as an interim pose. Quite often in a yoga session, we'd start with I would always start with coming into the now, so that we're in the right mind emotional space for doing the yoga asanas. And then traditionally we would start with standing work and doing some warm-up standing, then moving through to kneeling and seated work, lying down work, front to back, some side work, stretches and twists. And then you come to the inverted poses at the end and do the relaxation. So that's how you would fit a sort of complete long yoga session together. Fortunately, when you're doing short sessions, day to day in your own practice, you can just include exactly what you feel your body needs in that moment, because you don't have to do a long session. That way you get to do more. So what I'd like you to do is come up to standing. We are going to do a bit of warming up. Okay, so first of all, just moving the pelvis around. And these are really simple warm-ups, but again, not to be underestimated. Okay, and then if you're swinging from side to side, just to get that femur going into that socket, getting that area nice and lubricated. And then the sides of the torso, most of us, the kind of work or day that we have, we don't actually stretch the sides of the torso underneath here, underneath the armpit, through the arm enough. So let's do that. Let's just separate the feet out wider and go into one of the side stretch poses. So breathe in, bring the arms up. And breathing out, let's go down. I'm going down to my right side and letting the left hand go up. Okay. And then look up. Keep breathing. You might find that your lungs are going, help. Just keep breathing. Okay. And then breathing in, coming up. Feel a little bit dizzy, put your arms down and shake them out a bit. If you're feeling fine, just go straight into doing the other side. So going down the left-hand side of the leg, looking up to the heavens. So it's like a Trikonasana, but it's gentler. And it's really helpful for, especially around the rib cage area and the mid-torso stretch. So the internal organs in there are really appreciating this. Okay, breathe in, come up. And I would put the hands down and shake them out a bit. And then rotate your shoulders a bit. Not entirely sure at the end of your day what your shoulders are like. So it never does any harm to give them a little bit of extra loosening up. I usually do. For most of us, they hold quite a lot of tension. Okay, and then we're going over again into a side stretch, and we're just going to take it further. We're going to take the arm over the head. So breathe in, take the arms up to shoulder level, palms down to the floor. And then breathing out, again down the right hand side, sliding down. And take the left hand first up to the ceiling, looking up. And then on the next out breath, take the hand over towards the right toes. Just going past the ear. And you can look up through that upper arm. And then see if you can, you don't overdo it, see if you can just go a little bit further down your right leg if you can. So really stretching out this lymphatic system in that armpit area that we're really opening up, as well as emphasizing and strengthening this stretch on that side. Okay, and then breathing in, coming up, and up we go. And then because it was a bit stronger, do bring the arms down and swing them around a bit. Okay, I don't see yoga as an endurance sport, to be honest. Now we're going the other way, so breathing in, coming up, arms downwards from the shoulder. And we're going down the left side, right hand straight up, to the heavens, looking up. Then the next out breath, arm goes over, fingers start to point down towards that left foot, and you look up through that upper arm. Breathing into it. If you want to, you can experiment with going a little bit further down that left leg, but I'd be really careful. It's much easier to stop at the knee joint, because if the hand starts sliding, you could stretch too far. And simply breathing into that. And then breathing in, take the arm back up to the heavens. And push with your left hand to come up. Rotate your shoulders through, either way, either in sync, like so, or opposite. And then swing right round. Okay, relax. And then I'd like you to come into the mountain just for a moment. It's a nice interim pose. So the insides of the feet parallel. Put the tailbone under, shoulders down. Relax the face. A steady mountain. Feel even weight distribution through your feet. Okay. And then we're going to do a balance pose, not the usual tree. So just think where your left foot is. Maybe stretch out your left toes a bit, really steady. If you know you'll topple easily, stand near something that you can rest upon. Back of a chair, something nearby a table. And I'd like you to bring up your right leg, just bending the knee, and bring it up as high as you can. So there's going to be a lot of work going on in the left ankle joint as you balance. And while you're there, you can still do ankle rotations with that right ankle. Drop the shoulders, relax the shoulders, relax the face. If you come out of it, you can come back into it again, or you can wait until we do the other side. Okay, release them down, pausing again back into the mountain. Okay, and then lift up the left knee, as high as you can go. So you spread the right toes, trying to get nice, kind of wide foot onto the floor. And then, of course, that right ankle starts to work quite hard. This is really good for people who have weak ankles. The ankle really has to work, and everything around it needs to strengthen up. If you want to at the same time, you can rotate your left ankle. And you can also do this hanging on to something if you feel really unsteady. Okay, and then coming down, back into the mountain. And from there, we're going to go into a forward bend. So breathing in, take the arms up above you. Okay. Lengthen up from the crown of the head and try to get the fingertips to touch the ceiling. And then without locking the knees, so let the knees be soft, we're going to breathe out and go to halfway down. Now, think about how your lower back has been past week. Stretch out from halfway as though you were reaching to a kitchen counter or something. Just put your hands on an imaginary counter. Then on the next out breath, going down, but being aware of how your lower back has been, and don't go down too far if it's been a little bit iffy. So lowering into it, opening out the shoulder blades, dropping the shoulders towards the floor, dropping the head towards the floor. Imagine it hanging off the 7 vertebrae of the neck and hanging off the whole spine, dropping downwards. And the nice thing about not having to rush through the poses is that little by little we ease deeper into it as the body relaxes into the pose. Uttanasana, the forward bend. And then hold on to the elbows. Let the arms drop downwards. Okay, and then to come out of it, what we're going to do is place the hands forward of the feet and bend the knees downwards so we're on our toes. Okay, and then coming forwards with the arms so we're on our toes, and it's a squat on the toes. Okay, but the trick is to try to keep the torso upright. If it's too difficult with the hands in front, see if it makes it easier to balance with the hands at the sides. Might make it worse. Or again, you could hold on to something. And then can you lower the hands as though you were meditating, kind of into your lap, but we're still in the squat on the toes. You're resting the shoulders completely, and then drop them down to the sides as though they were going to touch the feet. Okay. Make the whole foot and ankle work, some of the front of the shin, calf muscles. You don't have to necessarily keep the thighs parallel. It's kind of harder work. I'm letting my knees go out a little. Then to come out of that, place the hands onto the knees, push with the arms, straightening the knees, and slowly, slowly raising up. And we'll stand into a nice counter pose to that is the star pose. So just stretching out. Then close the eyes for a moment, relax the shoulders, shoulder blades coming down towards the waist. And just feel if there's any area that's going, I need more attention, I need a little bit of tenderness. Maybe your neck, shoulders. And then on the next out breath, let's lower those hands down. Okay, so we're now in the wide stance mountain. We'll close the eyes and breathing into that. I'd like you to check, how does the abdominal area feel at this moment? How does the digestive system feel? How are the lungs? Okay, and then heel toe, the feet together, pausing in traditional mountain pose. Check your ankle joints so that your ankles aren't collapsing inwards or pushing outwards. Even weight distribution. Hopefully the hips, knees and ankles in line. Nothing to do. And And then just for the fun of it, see if you can find out where in the body is still tense. Is it your left eyebrow? Is it your jaw? Is it one shoulder? Is it your left big toe? Just exploring to see. And relaxing that area. Consciously letting go. And then as we're standing here, we're going to do, I'm warning you that next thing we're going to do is some chair work. So think of where you've got a chair and what you need to do to bring the chair into where you need it. A sofa would kind of work, but it's not as ideal as something like a dining chair. But of course, do what you can. Okay, and then bringing the tailbone back into the chair so that you're sitting comfortably with the hands down on the thighs and the feet relaxed. So if it feels weird to have the feet together, which is quite a lot of strain actually on the thighs, just have them relaxed. The hands resting where they want to rest. That's good. And then what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to breathe in, bring the arms up, and breathe out and down to the heart. Okay, pausing there a moment. And then this is where it's easier to do on a chair that doesn't have arms, because you've got more space. Take the hands out to the sides. So on a sofa or something, it's hard because you're already hitting the surface of the sofa here, but you know, do what you can. So breathing in, up to shoulder level. Breathe out. Breathe in, up into star position, drop the shoulders, breathe out. Breathe in, up, arms together. Breathe out, push further. Breathe in, stretch up to the ceiling, palms to the front. Breathe out to star. Breathe in, lengthen out. Breathe out, arms downwards, shoulder level. Breathe in. Breathe out, down a little. Breathe in, lengthen from the crown of the head. And then breathe out, down completely, so they're resting the outside of your thighs. Okay. And then next, bringing your thighs a little closer, not too much strain on the thighs. I'd like you to breathe in and clasp the hands in front of you, familiarly clasp. Okay, breathe out, push the hands forward, low down. Breathe in, lengthen the crown upwards, eyes straight back. Breathe out, lift the hands to heart level, push away from you. Breathe in, lift from the crown. Breathe out, take the hands up to above the crown. Breathe in, lengthen. And then breathing out above the head And breathe in, lengthen the hands upwards. Okay. And then release, breathe out, lower, just above the crown of the head. Lower, throat, heart, lower, down, that belly button area, and then release. Okay. Do some ankle swirls while you're there, pausing and resting, rotation of the ankle joint. Okay, good. And then I'd like you to do the unfamiliar clasp. So it's like your normal clasp, and then you remove one hand and go down a notch and bring the fingers in. So we start at the bottom, breathe out, push away, breathe in, lengthen up, breathe out, push away at the middle, at the belly button area, breathe in, lengthen up, breathe out, heart, throat area, breathe in, lengthen up, breathe out, crown area, breathe in, lengthen up, breathe out high above the head, and then breathe in, stretch up, and then breathe out, down, crown, throat, heart, belly, and relax down. And again, let the hands rest outwards, off the thighs, do some ankle rotations. Okay, good. And then I'd like you to slightly lean forward and touch your toes, drop the head. If you're doing a forward bend, coming forward, over the thighs. As though you were feeling dizzy and somebody said, oh, put the head between your knees. Okay. So very simply leaning forwards and resting. For women, if the chest is getting in the way, move the knees out wider. If you want to, you can take the arms behind you, put the back on the outsides of the leg. Okay, then breathe in, lift the hands up and up and up and up, and bring the head up and up and up and up, all the way up, palms facing forward. Keep breathing. And then breathe out, clasp the hands behind the head. Okay. And then I'd like you to breathe in, lengthen up, keep the spine nice and straight. Breathe out, go down to your right side. So you're trying to keep both your sitting bones staying on the chair as you go over, and then you breathe in and you come up. And then you breathe out and you go the other way. And then you breathe in and you come up. So this looks really easy, but it actually takes a little bit better. And it's really good for the internal organs, especially kidneys, spleen, liver, stomach. Okay, and when you've had enough of doing that, which is probably about now, come back up to the middle and release the hands and just rest as though you were meditating, one hand resting on the other, close the eyes, nothing to do. Okay, and then I'd like you to raise up your right knee and put your hands underneath it, like so. Okay, and then swing your leg around a bit. So normally we're very careful with just doing hinge work with the knee, but without weight going through it, we can just explore its movement throughout circular motion in this chair pose without causing any damage to the knee. Okay, and then hinge motion only. You're sort of kicking the foot up and down. Okay, and then pull in quite strongly. Lovely, and then release. We'll do the same the other side, but before we do, rub that right knee. Or blood supply going in there by rubbing it, massaging it a little. Okay, and then the left. So bring the left knee up, hold behind it, and do some circular motions with the foot. And if you hear crinks and crickles, that's quite good to note because it means somewhere in there there's something jamming up. When we get to the massage bit, I'll explain what you can do to help. Then bring up higher and do some kicking work. Kicking with the foot. Okay. And then higher, pull in, which is hard work on the arms. Okay, and then release. And then again, take your hands to that left knee. And I'd like you to take your fingers in around that knee joint. You'll find there are dimples lower down the knee joint at the front. And just explore in there. And sometimes you can actually feel bits that need a little bit of deeper finger massage. It's really helpful to do for yourself. Okay. Lovely. And then just rub up and down the thighs a bit. And you can actually use both hands to one thigh. And what I'm doing is I'm using a kind of gripping action with my fingers. So I can cover a larger area, so spread my fingers out. And it's quite a deep massage. Fingers are going in deep. And then I'll do that to the other thigh. So these kind of exercises, the sitting work, hopefully we'll still be doing it from 105. Why not? And then stretching out the legs. So you're now sitting on the chair, hopefully. And you've got your legs going out as wide as they can. Okay, comfortably. And the hands are going out on towards the knees. You're sitting straight upright. So I don't know whether this is politically correct, but it's what people call man spreading when men on the train and they're taking up more seats and all the women are sort of sitting there like this. So let's do a bit of that, taking up as much space as we can. I suspect that's not politically correct, really. Not fair on men. Okay, and then we're going to do a forward bend from here. So maybe look at the floor and think, okay, that's a long way away. Let's take it slowly. So let's slide the hands down past the knees, down the front of the shins, towards the floor, and then down directly beneath the head, hands down, and drop the head. So you can have your arms straight. And if you feel you're going to fall off your chair, just move your thighs back on the chair a bit more. Okay, because I've got an open back on my chair, I can sort of push the tailbone through that. So I don't feel like I'm going to fall forward off the chair. Then really lower down, so go down as far as you can with the head. And allow that lovely long spine stretch to happen. And I'm just resting the back of one hand against the wrist of the other hand. Both palms are facing upwards towards my head. So I'm letting the shoulder area really open and relax downwards. Shoulder blades wide. Chin tucked in. Letting go into the pose. Remember, these forward bends are so soothing. Bringing calm and balance. Bringing some tranquility into the body and the mind. Okay. And then to come out of it, I would place the palms downwards on the floor Start to straighten up, bring the feet in a little, so you're still quite bent, and then coming up, okay, onto the knees, roll the shoulders back, and then relax. So see if you can get the elbows directly underneath the shoulders, so bring the elbows back in, relax the face, close the eyes, crown of the head lifting upwards, and this is our interim resting pose. Hopefully comfortable. And interestingly, chair work is not just for people who are elderly who don't find it so easy to stand anymore. It's also if you are feeling that you've had a really busy day, but you want to do yoga poses and you want to bring yourself into greater equilibrium, but you don't have an awful lot of energy. So you can do it from sitting and still get tremendous benefit. Okay, so the next bit is to do cat pose. I'll just turn my chair to the side, I think, to show you. We do cat pose sitting in a chair, and it's like this. Watch. So that's straight up, and then I arch the back. And if you have the sort of chair where you can hold on, reach the arms back behind your hips, and arch, pushing the sternum forward and opening the front of the throat, and then curving, tucking the chin in, letting the hands drop towards the knees, and then on the in-breath again, curving into that sort of hammock shape, except we're upright in the spine. And then on the out-breath, curving round. Okay, bring the head down, keep repeating that, in-breath, strong back arch, out breath, curve the back round. And really open the throat when you're doing the back arch if you can. You don't have to go down too low when you're doing the rounded back. Okay, and then after you've done the next one, coming back to kind of meditation pose. Hands resting comfortably on the thighs. Close the eyes. Okay, and then you don't have to move, I'm just moving my chair. Just facing forward again. And we'll go into candle pose. So candle pose, bringing the hands up into a candle. Breathing out, down to the heart. Drop the shoulders, shoulder blades coming together. Breathe in, back up to the candle. Really open out the armpit area. Breathe out, back to the heart. So keep repeating that. Close the eyes if you wish. So on the in-breath, we're opening and stretching the lungs open. We're breathing in, go up into the candle, and we breathe out as we come down to Namaste at the heart. And then it becomes a moving meditation. Breathing in, candle. Breathing out, heart. In, candle. And heart. Do this for ages. Lovely. In, candle. And heart. And I recommend to finish it rather than pausing at the heart, which is what we normally do, I would breathe in, go up to the candle, stretch up to the candle, and then put the backs of the hands together and breathe out, pushing the fingers as though you're trying to create the biggest arch around you that you can with your fingers. Okay, really stretching out as you breathe out, and they're coming down, coming down, coming down, coming down. Okay, and then from there, we're going to do wise man pose or rishi pose. So it's a bit of a twist, but it's quite easy to do. So bring your hand round to the back of your chair. Breathing in, bring your left hand up and take the left hand down to the outside of your right. Breathe in, lift the crown of the head up and use your right hand to help push your right shoulder round. Okay, so normally we do this side onto the chair, but you can do it facing the front. There are some situations where you might be just thinking, well, I don't want to sit on the side of the chair, this is fine. That's a nice stretch. And twist. And not to bring the chin up too high. Okay, breathing out, coming around to the front. Pause. You'll probably feel, oh, that's interesting, that did this and this and this. I can feel it. And it seems such a simple twist. Okay, then we do the same on the other side. So the left hand comes around, holds on to the back of your chair somewhere. We breathe in, we lengthen. We breathe out, we place the right palm against the outside of the left thigh. We move on the next out breath, the left shoulder round, and we're looking round, we're following that. But the spine is absolutely coming up straight from the floor, hopefully, right through the crown of the head. And then once we're in the pose, little micro movements further round. To deepen the twist. But try to relax the shoulders and face and jaw once you're in the pose. Okay, same amount of time both sides, coming around to the front. Okay, and we're just going to do another little twist from the front. Have a look down at your right foot. So just pausing, yeah, have a look down at your right foot. And I'd like your left hand to move down towards your right foot, like so on the out breath. And your right hand to come up to the heavens and you look up. And it's a seated twist with a forward bend. Okay. And then breathing out, bringing that hand down. So both of them now on the right foot, just drop the head. And then transfer both hands over to the left foot, with the head still dropped between the knees. And then right hand goes on to the left foot, palm down. Left hand comes up to the heavens and you look up. So you're bending the head towards the floor, but at the same time you're turning the neck to look up with the left hand. Breathing into the pose. Okay, breathing out and coming down. Right. And then staying down, staying with the head down, lift the hands and clasp them behind the back. Okay. And then bring the hands upwards as much as you can towards the heavens. Not easy. Okay. Try not to tipple forward on your chair. Okay, don't be worried about how little you can do of that, because the shoulders might feel quite stiff. Drop the hands to the back and just change to the unfamiliar hand clasp and try again. Okay, dropping the head. It's good chest expansion, this one. Okay, and then lowering the hands down onto the back, coming up, pushing to come up. And this time do go side onto your chair. So the back of the chair is on your right hand side. Okay, and then I'd like you to clasp the back of the chair with your hands. Breathe in, extend the crown up. Breathe out, turn to your right. And use the chair for that extra twist. Drop the shoulders. Check that the chin is not too high up. I love how you can do a beautiful twist this way with using a chair. It's so good. Okay, and obviously doing this on your own, you could stay there much longer. But the next out breath, let's come out of that, come round to the front, breathe in, just lengthen up for a moment, and then breathe out, we'll go the other way. So this time we've got the back of the chair on our left side. Put the hands round and hold on to the back of the chair. Breathe in, lengthen up the crown. Breathe out, use the hand strength and arm strength to help twist the torso around to your left, keeping the shoulders down. Okay, and on the next out breath, then we're turning around again to the front, nearly finished. Okay, placing the hands onto the thighs. And then this, you have to be really careful now you don't go over on your chair doing this. So stabilize yourself out. Hold on to the seat of the chair with your right hand. The left hand comes up and you go over into a stretch. Okay, and if you can, depending on your chair, I'm sliding my hand down that leg, but I do know I have to really put weight onto the left side of the chair, otherwise, because I'm going to the right, I'm going to fall over. Breathe in and up with the hand, both arms up, swap sides, hold on to the left seat, breathe out. Over for the stretch, and then depending on the chair, see if you can go down towards the floor. Okay, extra stretch. Amazing what you can do sitting on the chair. And then after this one, we've got one last one to go. So breathing in, coming up. Breathe out and down. And then can you stretch your legs out in front of you, wide out, as wide as possible, okay? And then take your arms out as wide as possible. So we're doing the star, but we're sitting. Okay, bring your toes towards you. That's it, drop the shoulders, palms towards front. Close the eyes, drop the shoulders. radiate out from the belly button area. Lovely. And after all that really good work, the good news is we can rest our legs up on the chair. So using the same chair, I'd like you to get really comfy, your torso on the floor, and then your knees bent and your legs resting on the chair. That's how we're going to rest. So look around, see what the lighting is like. If it's too strong, it's going to feel too harsh on your face. So you could shut off some of the upright lights of you. As usual, really important, make yourself comfy if you're going to get cold. Put another layer on. And we'll bring your blanket with you. If you need your eye pillow, see if you can hunt that out. If you've got a cushion for your chair, that would be good. Or blanket. As you know, I'm into maximum comfort. These things. And from tonight's session, really, you can probably tell what I was working on. I'm working on tremendous tranquility and calming. Really slowing the adrenal glands down from pumping too much. Calming the system down as much as possible. Moving more into the soothing tranquility, which I think we probably all need. So check that your legs are as comfortable as you can get them. If you have glasses on, take them off, somewhere safe. If you have an eye pillow, placing it comfortably over the eye sockets. And then the hands rest by the sides, palms upwards. And see if you can move the shoulder blades a little bit down towards your waist. Open them out a bit. And then drop the shoulders, drop the jaw, open the back of the neck. And then let the body be for a moment. Do nothing. And this is where we sort of get out of the way. We let the body do what it needs to do. Not holding it tense, or not holding muscles or limbs in any way. We're just letting go. Letting what needs to happen, happen. So if you're happy resting there and don't want to move, that's fine. You can stay here as long as you're able. This is so beneficial for the body. It seems such a shame to end it if you don't need to end it, if you can do longer. So those of you who know you need to come out of the pose, just begin to wriggle the toes a bit and move the wrists and move the fingers a bit. If you had an eye pillow on, removing it, finding glasses if you had some. And then the easiest way to come out of legs up on a jet is to bring the knees towards the chest. Okay, so pulling in, but don't pull in and tense the shoulders up if you can help it. And then rock a little from side to side. You could still have a blanket on you if you like, it's not in the way. You're just rocking from side to side. And then rocking over to one side, push and come off. So that's the end of this evening's sequence of poses. I hope it was helpful. It will be on the YouTube channel, so hopefully, if you are watching it, if you haven't yet done it, please subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. It just means that if you come into YouTube, it'll tell you if I've got a new yoga class up and on it, and it also will help me because I'll get more subscribers, so things get easier for me on the YouTube channel. Okay, Paul.